from Studio A at 1 Biloxi Square in Lake Worth, Texas. Welcome in to the Grandpa and Pappy Show.
Yes, indeed.
Good to have everybody here. Another day of the pandemic that we'll be talking about here in just a minute as I get on my soapbox. But one thing, if you watched our last show, you'll see a difference in Pappy and I. Got our hair cut, clipped. Look at it.
That chia pet is no longer jealous of me.
You can't wait till tomorrow. It gets better looking every day.
That's right. And you said there was no help for me.
I did, didn't I?
Well, Melinda Caldwell proved you wrong.
I am sorry about that, Pappy. I truly am sorry. Forgive me on that one.
She told me that she didn't even mention that you were cute or anything. All she could do is tell me how pretty I looked when she got through with me. Then I paid her and she said, "Get the hell out of here."
Get the hell out of my chair. But thank you, Melinda, for getting both me and Special K and Pappy in here. We appreciate it. Melinda Caldwell is wonderful.
You,
she really is. You know, Pappy, before we get started talking about our topic, living in the shadow of our country's debt, there's something I got to get off my chest.
Oh, Lord, podcast world.
Hang
Grandpa
on.
got a burr up his ass
Yes,
again.
I do. I'm going to start this off just by saying, when are we going to get the truth? When is the media? When are all of the physicians that are advising our president going to tell us the truth? We are seeing more and more and more doctors starting to post videos on things like YouTube, Instagram, all of this, telling us that this pandemic is not as bad as it really is.
That's been my platform the whole damn time. I think there's an agenda behind it, and what it is, I don't know. But I'm beginning to wonder, can we handle the truth?
I don't know. It is up to us as Americans to find out what that truth is. And the media, you guys have got to start reporting truth.
Yeah.
Not scare numbers.
Yeah.
Report how many 99% of people who are getting this are recovering.
Those fools report what they're told to report. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, it's a bunch of puppets, and I'm sorry to say I was in the media for 22 years, and by God, we had to make sure everything was accurate.
How many times you get your ass chewed up for making a boo-boo when you was reporting?
One of the videos that I saw, I think you sent it, or someone sent it on the Grandpa and Pappy podcast page.
Yeah. I reposted it.
Yeah.
After they
was of Dr. Yvette Lozano, who is a Hispanic American physician in Dallas, Texas.
I was impressed with her, by the way.
I was very impressed. She was very precise and very instrumental in giving all of the statistics. Now, she said the numbers that she shared with all of those that were gathered to protest having to be closed down and having to stay indoors all the time. That's what the rally was about.
Yeah.
She says that her practice, just the numbers on her practice, those that came in, and she did not shut down, she did not see patients by computer or teleconference.
Nor was she speaking through a mask. I didn't see one mask in the whole damn crowd. She had a group of people out there.
I didn't either.
Go figure.
She says that of all of the people that have come in to her office that she saw, that she even thought about, may have a coronavirus.
She's treated quite a few. Yeah.
That she gave him a couple of shots in the behind with antibiotics and the what is it, Karen?
Hydrochloro. Oh, now I can't say it.
Don't say form at the end.
Hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, that works.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then she told the story that Walgreens started questioning her why she was prescribing this to her patients. They wanted to know what her diagnosis was, and she would not share because that's confidentiality between the patient and the doctor.
Yeah.
But this medicine is also used to treat things like arthritis, some different types of stomach problems, things like that. So the
Well, and
National Pharmaceutical Association told
the CDC, they're all over that crap too. So,
told Walgreens not to fill any prescriptions that the doctor didn't give you a diagnosis. So
Yeah.
Dr. Lozano started saying that my client has a severe case of arthritis and things like that. And then she reported that these patients who came in with night fever, congestion, hard to breathe, night sweats, things like this, which is typical of the coronavirus,
yeah,
that it started relieving them within a day.
yeah.
And they were over it.
Well, and just like so many of the doctors' reports that we've watched, some of the guys that are coming out of the darkness of all this crap are saying, I mean, why be quarantined? I mean, we can send you home if you test positive for the virus, and you can be quarantined with your family. We'll say you've got a family of 4. Or in our case, we've got a family of 2 living at home.
Yeah.
All you're doing is multiplying the virus times that.
Yeah.
And you're not doing your system a damn bit of good by doing that.
No, you got to get out so your immunity can be
Yes.
built up to the outside elements.
Go outside, drink from the water hose, and eat some dirt once a day if you're going to do that. I mean, hell.
I bet you a lot of us out there watching, or a lot of you out there watching, did that very thing like we did.
I bet. Yeah.
But my main thing here, folks, and I'll get off my soapbox, is somebody's going to have to take the bull by the balls and start telling us the absolute truth.
That's right.
Dr. Lozano said that she got her form of treating patients for COVID from our illustrious President Trump, who said he was not a physician, but he had high hopes based on a French study by a doctor that you and I talked about last
Probably
month.
worldwide studies,
Yeah.
I would imagine.
And
yeah.
every patient that this French doctor treated with that hydrochloric, whatever the hell it is, and antibiotics recovered. So she heard that, she made notes and researched it, and that's what she started doing with her patients, and every one of them survived. Every one of them.
Well, I mean, I'm out and about pretty much daily, and I put a mask on once, long enough to take the damn thing off. In fact, I gave it to our innkeeper up at the field office the other day. I'm still kicking and breathing and living and
Yeah.
raising hell.
Well, I just went through a battery of tests, heart, lungs, the whole 9 yards, and I'm fine, you know. So, and I'm about to be 69 years old. So,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, well, you know, what can you say?
I dye my hair
Anyway,
white, that's what
open
I
up
say.
this damn economy. President Trump has said that he's fixing to do that very thing, even though he's getting all kinds of strong opposition. And I'm asking you, Governor Abbott of Texas, I do know you got a set of cojones and you go against the grain a lot of what you're told. I'm asking you personally as a Texan, open up this economy. Let us take a chance with our health.
Let the business owners decide what's in their best interest. If you want to get the economy kick-started again, hell.
People are going nuts,
Yeah.
having to stay in the house, even though they opened up some restaurants and bars, like up at our field office. There's only 4 chairs at the bar that you can sit.
Yeah.
Now, how are you going to associate with people and talk to people like we used to, and getting a lot of our subject material when you can't even have but 4 at the bar?
Well, I mean, I know how I handled it the other day.
That's just ridiculous.
Every 6 foot there was
Yes.
a chair. Now, if you and Karen, for example, go in there, they'll let you sit shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
But there's supposed to be a 6 foot span in between. Well, what I would do is
I'm
split
going to
the,
have 6 feet between me and Karen. I'll just leave her at home.
what I did is just split the difference between that chair and
Put
say
down
where
that
you
rolling
and Karen
pin,
were. And they told me you can't sit there.
Yeah.
Well, I happened to look, and I got all psychological on their ass and said, I don't see a chair parked under my butt. I said, if anybody asks, we came together.
Yeah. There you go.
So, Stephanie just said, "I'm so done with you."
I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, that we have got to open up our economy, take a chance on the health, stay home if we get sick, see our doctors, get prescribed medication to knock it out, and go on, because with every day that passes that our economy is shut down or limited,
The deficit does it.
that's right, and that's what
You know,
leads us
and
into
speaking-
our program.
And speaking of bars, our buddies Melinda and Doug have a top shelf bar in Arlington.
Yeah.
And they're still shut down. I mean, they're going nuts. But I mean, and I told her, I said, serve food, just put a rack of chips out on the counter. And she kind of looked at me. Didn't think of that. Might work. But I'm
Well, there you
finding
go.
that any bar that, which is one or maybe two that I'm associated with, they won't open them up unless they've got food.
That is correct. And that leads us kind of into what we're talking about today, and that is how are you feeling living in the shadow of our country's debt? Now, as you can see on your screen right there, that is a video, an older video of the national debt clock. Now, this thing, the way it's moving is scary. The thing that's really scaring me, Pat, is that we're having to pay back a lot of foreign investors, Chinese investors, and all of this. And this scares me because you have so many foreign interests
Yeah.
that are loaning us money that eventually we're going to have to pay them back.
Well, yeah.
And what are they going to ask for payback?
More money.
Or something else.
Freedom or cash in on
And
one
that
of the
really
agendas that's
scares
going
me.
on.
It really scares me. Now, we had I did a lot of research, and I found a paper that is if I can show you right here, from Yale University, and this was written by William B. English, February 7th of 2020. Now, mind you, this was before they ordered everybody to shut down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before the COVID-19 virus.
Last week, the Congressional Budget Office projected that the annual budget deficit will surpass $1 trillion more or more each year in the next 10 years. Now, that in itself is scary.
Yeah.
Now, he goes on to say, the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office projects that federal spending will run about 21% of the gross domestic product, or GDP, however you want to say it, over the next few years, while taxes will run under 17% of the GDP. Now, that leaves a deficit, Pap, of nearly 5% of their gross domestic product each year, unprecedented for a period of such low unemployment. Let me again reiterate that this was written
higher, though.
just before
Yeah.
everybody was ordered to shut down, when unemployment was at its lowest rate ever. The amount of people working was at its highest in forever and ever. And then it still was leaving a deficit of nearly 5% of the gross domestic product.
Yeah. And I bet those numbers just as wrong as I was about the last
Man,
time.
I hate to even
lied
see
about
it. You
crap
know,
in my pants.
the Democrats, Pelosi's coming up with a $3 trillion idea for more money to supposedly help Americans get through this pandemic.
I'm sure she wants
Now-
her slice of the pie, too.
There's a lot of pork in that.
Yeah.
People need to read about.
That's correct. But the point I was going to make is
Barrel spending.
I can see helping folks until we open this economy, which I hope is very soon.
I would bet my last nickel, Karen, that a slice of that pie is going in her refrigerator, too.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. They've already worked themselves in a pay raise with the last one, but I can almost see helping Americans get another stimulus check to help them get through till they can get back to work. Okay?
Yeah.
But that's it. And businesses helping them get back. Nothing else. No fine arts, no this, no that, no other. Just Americans helping them get on there. And another
Put
thing,
it where
Pappy,
the
you
hell
and
it
I
needs
have
to
talked
be,
about is that people have become fat, lazy.
Eating snacks in front of Days of Our Lives, getting that free check.
Yeah, and they're getting, $600 to $1,200 a week.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, cut it out, American.
We spoke about our
God
beautifier,
almighty.
Melinda Caldwell. She told me today, she said there was an employee, no names mentioned, that hasn't worked for me in a year that's coming back trying to file unemployment to get on the ride a train gig.
I do know inside the new bill that they're proposing is they're going to send stimulus checks out from $1,200 to $6,000, max $6,000 per family. So what is happening is each kid that's a dependent will also get the $1,200 up to $6,000 per family.
Yeah, but you know where that money's going. Yeah, I
And
mean,
then I do know that they are-
for the people that actually need it, yay-hoo, or that can actually use it in hopes of going back or returning to some type of normalcy in their life. That's all good.
And it's also going to the illegal immigrants that are here today.
I bet that
It's
gets
part of-
blocked.
That's another thing.
Also,
I bet that
they
gets
have
blocked.
the vote by mail in
Yeah.
there for the next presidential election.
Oh boy,
From what I heard.
here we go.
Looking
again.
at some of the viewer comments that we got in from you folks, and thank you very much for those. Pat Wilson, Pappy says it scares her that her children's grandkids will have to inherit the debt our generation is creating right now.
Yeah.
She says tough decisions have to be made concerning all of the money we send to allies each year.
Absolutely.
And then she asks, what is the actual monetary cost of freedom?
That is a hell of a good question. Do you have an answer for it?
I do not.
I don't either.
I don't think anybody does. Outside of the Congressional Budget
Somebody
Committee.
does, but I'm
Somebody
not sure I
does. They
wanna-
have to come up with a budget
I'm
every
not
year.
sure I want to hear it. That's part of the truth, and I'm afraid of hearing. Thanks for sending that in, Pat. That's awesome. CD says on Twitter that he hates that we are accumulating so much debt, but he's glad he'll be gone when it comes due, by God.
So I guess that's one way you could look at it.
That's an easy way to look at it.
CD, yeah.
yes, yeah.
I mean, when I'm gone, who cares?
Yeah, that's right. I'll smile down on my boys. and go,
One of
"Good
the
luck."
things that just absolutely sticks in my craw, as you like to say, Congress keeps borrowing from the Social Security fund that we Americans paid into.
Yep.
In addition to paying our taxes. Then they keep telling us that the fund will be defunct, Pappy, in a couple of years. Here's my question. Here we go.
I've got a comment for that. too.
Are you winding me up here? I went and I searched and found out how much I have paid into Social Security over 50 years that I was employed,
Yeah.
and the contributions made by my employers.
Did it have a lot of
It
zeros?
it had a lot of zeros. Now, if you Democrats are going to keep dipping in to the Social Security fund to fund your pet little projects and giveaway projects, stop it. Just send me a frickin' check on how much I've paid in and those of my employers over the years.
Yeah.
And trust me when I say I will have enough to sustain me and Special K for the rest of our lives.
Absolutely.
And then you can do whatever you want to.
Well, that's exactly what they're trying to do now. They're going to, in 2 or 3 years, my ass, they're going to completely get rid of Social Security and then replace that with more taxation. Is
Yeah.
what they're going to do.
I've heard a lot of things on it, Pappy. It just absolutely blows my mind sometimes. And I had some talking points, too. Now, the United States needs to quit sending money all over the world.
Yep.
All of the countries that are part of the United Nations, instead of the U.S. footing all of the bills, has got to start contributing, and our great President Trump is working on that very thing. As a matter of fact, in his speech to the United Nations and that of the G7 conference, he told these countries, hey, we're tired of footing the bills.
Yep.
You guys have got to start paying your part because we're not.
Well, it's such foolishness like giving the illegal immigrants money, you know. I mean, Jesus Christ, benefits and
Subsidies, yeah.
Subsidies, yeah. I can't even keep a straight face reading this. To the tune of billions of dollars every year. This does not include giving them free Medicare.
Now that just, here again,
Or medical care, rather. I'm sorry.
look,
don't
I know this
hell, I don't even
country,
get free medical care. I'm a retired federal employee. I don't get all that.
you know, and I can't, and they, the illegal immigrants, are getting more money each month than people on Social Security.
Oh Lord, yeah.
And it just rubs me the wrong way. Eliminate that, have the guts to do that, and our coffers will start building back up again,
Yeah.
and our debt will start going back down again.
And right now, if you want free money from the government in the form of assistance, don't be an illegal immigrant. Hell, become an American. It's easy enough to get as it is, which is what's going to be changed, hopefully, in the next term. I hope.
Yeah, you know, something else I was
so it is.
thinking about was perhaps taxpayer money should be cut back on funding of the arts, and instead, Pappy, let them raise their own money and funds.
Get a job.
All of these Hollywood elites and all of these multi-millionaires out there in California. Hey.
Thurston Howell, you better pay attention, bud, because we're after your ass.
Yes, sir. Let's see here. Richard Stewart, Pappy, says with all of the scare about COVID-19 and shutting our economy down, that it is playing right into the hands of those who want to rule the world's economy.
Yep.
The trillions of dollars it will take to open back our economy and see that Americans have the cash to see them through is going to be astronomical.
Yes, it will
Just
be.
open up the economy and we'll take the chances on our health.
Absolutely. Well said, Richard. We appreciate you sending that in. Some cat whose handle is the American Dreamer said that until Congress starts working with President Trump, our debt is only going to escalate. True. He says Trump has proven he knows how to make the economy strong, raise the GDP, and reduce debt. It seems that no one wants to work with him to do it again.
I believe that.
That excludes the right side. You know that, don't you, buddy?
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true
If
there.
you know where I'm going with this.
You know, sometimes we try to stay away from politics, but Pappy, sometimes you just can't help from talking about it because some of the stupid things we see every day. It just makes me want to go outside and puke.
You know how I feel about politics.
Oh, I know. I understand. We've gone over that route several
You
times.
couldn't, every time you tell me the new show topic that you come up with, sometimes you can drive a straight pin up my ass with a sledgehammer. I'm just going, oh God, here we go.
You know, kind of getting back.
It's an election year, so
Yeah, well, that's
you
true.
You gotta have it. So,
You better be ready with boxing gloves ready because you're going to be into a fight.
I'm talking brass knuckles now at my house.
You know, getting back to this report that I was quoting from a while ago, it said that there are limits to how large the national debt can be.
Yeah.
Now, here's the question, though exactly what those limits are is not clear, and nobody knows.
It remains to be seen.
Currently, the national debt is about 80% of the gross domestic product, its highest level since the period after the Second World War. Now, the CBO projects that deficits will grow over the coming years, reflecting in part interest rates on the outstanding debt, demographic changes, and, of course, higher health care costs. Even in the absence of a recession, the CBO projects that the national debt will be near 100% of the gross domestic product by the end of the decade. Now,
I think it'll surpass it myself.
I do too. Now,
I think it's already there.
Again, this report was done prior to the shutdown of the American economy. So even when we were booming, we're still, got an uphill battle to fight.
Up to our earlobes, yeah. And you know what the experts are saying that'll reduce that and or take care of that national debt?
What's that?
Might I read?
Absolutely.
The only way to pay it off is through government spending, which will slow the economy down big time. It'll raise taxes, and increase national income by driving up the GDP beyond the current debit levels.
Good
So, in
point.
other words, I think the GDP is going to surpass the number in question, whatever the hell that's going to wind up being.
Ah, jeez,
I mean,
Louise.
can you say garage sale on government bonds and raw property in America? That's what's coming. That's what they've been doing for a while, selling all property to foreign countries.
And one other thing too that
Sad.
kind of sticks in my craw is that I think we have way too many free programs in this country.
Yeah. Yeah.
That can
I
be
agree.
handled by lazy people getting off their butts and getting a job.
Get a job. And as you know, I've traveled across the pond a few times. And the people over there, even back before all this hubbub crap started, the people over there were laughing their ass off at us. And I would hear it every once in a while at the old local pub, the old local foreign field office I'd hang in. They'd say, "You just wait. This is going to come back to bite you in the ass, mate." That kind of stuff. And I thought, what the hell are you talking about? And I thought it was jealousy. It's not jealousy.
And it is.
They're laughing at our greed factor, at our laziness, and our ability not to do things about certain issues that we need to tend to.
Well, now this is the way I see it, everybody. All right.
But as I said it back then, I got you made, okay?
And we have made no bones about it. Pappy and I, we express our opinion. Okay.
By God.
That's what this show is about, our opinion and yours. Open this economy back up.
That's the only way it's going to fix itself.
Government officials
present.
stop giving all of this unemployment money each week to all these people.
Yep.
They have to go back to work. Now, they can't go back to work until you get off your butts up there in Washington and say, let's do it.
Allow it to happen.
Yeah.
Just allow it. You don't have
One
to force
thing
it. Just
leads
allow it.
to another. It's so common sense, Pappy. And that's what's scary. Nobody uses common sense anymore.
Those two words again. Yeah.
Yeah. This coronavirus. Hey, listen, even if one person dies from the coronavirus, that's one too many.
Yeah. It's sad.
But at the same time, when you take it into context, as far as the entire population goes, and those that have had it and recovered from it are just like those of us who had the flu. We got treated
Exactly.
for it. We got over
Yeah.
it. So,
If you're sick, have a fever, stay the hell home. If you need to get out, wear a mask. So
I mean,
you're not
come
spreading
on.
your crap everywhere. And what is this doctor's name again that held this rally in Dallas?
that was Dr. Yvette Lozano.
I encourage you and beg you to go to our podcast page and watch that before the mainstream media yanks it down.
Yeah.
She made more sense than anybody
No kidding.
than I've seen.
But here
Sharp
again,
cookie she is, yeah.
Pappy, we have seen so many doctors to come up and make videos
Yeah. Well, just
and
like,
explaining basically the same thing, and then
just like the team
all
in
of a sudden,
California.
poof.
That's what got my attention. I mean, the far leftists in California is speaking against it. That's
Yeah.
going to tell you something's going on.
That's true.
Jesus Christ.
So the bottom line is, folks, I mean, we're having to deal with the national debt, and we can't do that with our economy shut down. So come on, Washington.
It gets to the point to where you get overextended, you will not be allowed credit any longer. You know? I mean, it's the same situation with the United States.
Well, I hope this program has kind of opened your eyes
Yeah.
on a few things, and of course our opinions and those of our fine viewers that sent in their comments. We thank you very much.
And we appreciate those comments, ideas, even complaints. I don't care. Keep them coming to us. It gives us something to talk about, and we could never do it without your input. And feel free to send those in at grandpaandpappy@gmail.com or our website there, Gramps.
Our website is www.grandpa, the letter N, pappy.com. And we have a very special thank you to everyone joining our podcast page.
Yeah.
almost 1,300 members strong.
Yeah.
I would ask you, as a personal favor to me and Pappy, if you have signed up on that podcast page, please go to our web page, grandpainpappy.com, and click on the red button
The big red button.
and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's absolutely free. You can go back and watch all the programs that we've done. Hard to believe this is number 26.
Oh, man.
But we're just rolling along and having a good time. Please do that for
Give
us.
us a thumbs up. Tell a friend or a family member about it. The more the merrier. It's a big boat. We'd love to have you all aboard. So,
And we got some big paddles.
yeah, we do.
That's true.
We got an electric motor.
Yep, coming up next time, we're going to talk about a little bit more of the coronavirus. Will the coronavirus coverage ever end?
How about we hop into viewer comments?
That's
right.
Pull the plug.
How about some viewer comments real quick, bro?
Okay, let's do that right quick before we
Okay.
wrap up.
I'll kick it off.
All
Our
right.
bud Sean Paul Rigg of American Steel Motorcycle Club appreciated a mention on our motorcycle show, which was our last show.
Yep.
He says, good show and great timing during Motorcycle Awareness Month. Be aware of that.
Yeah, and
you
Jerry
drivers out
Jerry Blum wrote in to say, great show on motorcycles. We appreciate that, Jerry. Thank
We
you.
love you, Jerry. You big dog, you. Jason Thompson said he was surprised how our Mother's Day show affected him. He says his mom passed away 3 years ago. We're sorry for your loss, brother.
Absolutely.
But watching our show made him go back and relive that heartache. He says it wasn't in a bad way, but just to appreciate all his mom had done for him while she was alive.
Very well said.
Never forget. Apparently she raised you right, brother. We appreciate hearing from you, Jason.
Andy Bostic of Perriton wrote in to say the motorcycle show pretty well covered it and wished every driver would watch that show to know what we cyclists live with. At the same time, he said, all of the show-offs and daredevils on the streets and highways need to get their, shall we say, caca together, and maybe the general public would respect us more.
Yeah, pleasant thought. Robbie Eversmart has subscribed to our YouTube channel. Maybe we can catch his podcast sometime too.
Robbie,
Be more
just
than
let
happy
us
to,
know.
buddy. Yeah.
AC Fuzzy Allison wrote on Twitter that if cars would just be careful, drivers stop texting or talking on the phone, that cyclists would not have too much to worry about.
Yeah, it goes way beyond that. Just plumb ignorant drivers, that don't look for motorcycles.
Ain't it so?
And our buddy Marla Chestnut said she loved her Mother's Day show. She says, thanks for that. It was really neat. Well, thanks for tuning in, Marla. We love
Absolutely.
you and Tip to death. So
We hope you enjoyed today's show, everybody, as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. And we'll see you back again on Friday
we'll be here.
when we discuss will this coronavirus coverage ever end.
Yeah.
So until then, we want you to stay safe. Open up the economy, Governor Abbott,
Take care of one another and know that we love you.
and salute.
Later.